hope we'll be able to make it this time around. We've been having some technical glitches. And be that as it may, we are on. The program is Voters Forum. I'm Wale Ogunade, and of course, we are coming to you live from Lagos. I don't know where you are watching us, but you can be sure that we're going for a good ride this day. We're looking at the issue of election, particularly the one taking place in Rsiec State now. And we may have a time, but I don't think the time will be there for us to look at the elections. So we'll just quickly have a short break. No, let's just go on because time is wasted. With me, my guests today are, in no particular order, Mr. Paul Dada, by definition, the deputy, is it deputy now?
Deputy editor.
Deputy editor, PM News. And of course, my comrade, co-traveler in democratic struggle and human rights, comrade Nelson Ekujimi.
Thank you for having me.
I want to welcome the two of you.
Thank
I
you.
want to appreciate you and all our viewers for the patience, because we know that everyone is seated glued to watching this program. And of course, if you're on the go, you can watch us on Google, the Play Store. You go to all the social media platforms and we'll get going. We'll just start this way. The elections taking place in Rivers. I am a lawyer, and I know what it means by the rule of law. And all those are in authority in this country. Political appointees and even elected officials must obey court orders. That is it, because that's what the Constitution says in Section 103 of the Constitution, that all authorities, any authority in this country, must obey the court order. So I don't know where Fubara now deserves his strength, because I have been following the issues that are the Federal High Court in Abuja. So I don't know where he got his power. Maybe you can enlighten us.
Well, only Fubara can explain where he got his power. But the governor of Rivers State, I'm not too shocked that he is going ahead with this election, because I have an impression that he is someone with a disrespect for institutions. Especially the judiciary. Remember what the Supreme Court said about local government autonomy. Remember, this, it was even said that any local government that is not elected should not be recognized. Mm-hmm. But what else keeps up to now, keeps on the caretaker committee. And then so, in this case, Federal High Court said, don't hold that election. You cannot hold an election without an updated register. Now, INEC was not going to release. Police said we're not going to participate based on court order. But the man says, I want to go ahead. It's only Fubara. And Fubara is the way they are even laughing. Fubara and his uncle laughing at the court order, saying that it's ridiculous, that how can...
Sorry to cut you. For your information, the government and Rsiec and all were represented in that suit.
Exactly.
That the court order was made. And in law, we call it submitting to jurisdiction, which means they are aware and they partook in it. So,
they are claiming that the Federal High Court does not have jurisdiction over local government matter. But that is not something you decide. You don't interpret the law yourself. I'm not a lawyer, but I know it's basic.
Yes, I'm a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. It is the parties that clothes a court with jurisdiction.
Yeah.
The parties, that's those who are involved in a case before a court. Mm-hmm. There is the Rivers State government. Mm-hmm. APC took Rivers State government,
yes,
took the governor, and of course the Rivers State Electoral Commission, the police, the DSS, and INEC to court. And the proper court to ventilate that grievance will be the Federal High Court. And the Federal High Court has one jurisdiction all over the country. If you go to Jalingo, if you go to Sokoto, if you come to Lagos, if you go to Abeokuta, Federal High Court, it covers every issue relating to the federation, because they have one jurisdiction. I'm explaining so that those who are non-lawyers will understand that this matter has jurisdiction. The court had jurisdiction. The state and Rsiec were represented in this matter. They submitted the jurisdiction. The issue did not favor them. The next thing to do is to go to the Court of Appeal, not now resorting to self-help, as we say it, and there is an authority on that.
Absolutely.
And that's the Lagos State and Governor and Ojukwu, military governor of Lagos State then, and Ikemba Nnewi Edemogu Ojukwu, about this Velasca case in Victoria Island. And of course, it has been rested. No governor can now do anything above the law.
Absolutely. I was going to talk about the Court of Appeal. Because any enlightened person who follows the polity, you don't even need to be a lawyer to know that if you disagree with the ruling of a even if you are contesting jurisdiction, because they have lawyers too. Rsiec has lawyers. They have lawyers advising them.
I also believe one of my colleagues who was one of the lawyers who represented the River State electoral.
Exactly, absolutely. Now, I believe that if you want to, even if you want to contest a ruling of a court, the only way you can do it is to go to a higher court and contest. You can't decide to say you will not obey the law. So this recklessness,
okay, but the recklessness, I like it that way. Let's take it from there, Nelson.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
The recklessness.
And
can you add it to the way you address him? You want to encourage breakdown of law and order? The Inspector General of Police is trying to ensure that there is law and order is kept. In fact, against the law, because against the order of court anyway, not that they are taking part in the election, but for safeguarding institutions and facilities of government. The governor went to town to now start.
Well, it's unfortunate and it's sad this junction. Governor Fubara started it immediately he assumed the reins of power. You remember vividly well how he went and destroyed the legislature,
the House of Assembly.
The House of Assembly. And he now decided the legislature in the government house. River State has about 28 local governments, of which they are represented in the House of Assembly.
Yes.
And as we speak, according to Mr. Similai Fubara, he recognizes only 3 members House of Assembly. That's an absurdity. It's an illegality because our constitution is very clear that for a House of Assembly to sit, 1/3 of the members must be present.
Yes.
Because we are a country governed by constitutional democracy. Everything we do, even Governor Similai Fubara sitting on that seat, is born out of the provisions of the constitution. Otherwise, I, Nelson Ekuji, be sitting there, I can proclaim myself as the governor of a River State if there's no law and order.
Yes.
So it's sad that Governor Similai Fubara has displayed total disobedience to the rule of law. I expect that if he's a man of peace, that he would have hearkened to the judicial pronouncement. And if you agree, like you rightly said, you have a right to appeal to the Court of Appeal. But in this case, Governor Similai Fubara has told every Nigerian, as well as people watching us all over, that Nigerian judiciary can go to hell. And I think it's a dangerous trend, because the police not participating in the election is as a result of the court's order, because the court specifically ordered the police to stay away. So Governor Similai Fubara has posed himself as a threat to Nigeria's democracy, and I think we need to look for maybe legislative or judicial intervention to return normalcy in River State, because it's like the man does not give a damn whatever happens to all of us, but we will not allow him to have his way.
We will not allow him to have his way. Really, I want to bring out what Justice Kayode Esho of blessed memory. He was Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. In that case that I cited some few seconds ago, the Ojukwu and the military government.
Yes.
Ojukwu took the Lagos State government to court. The Lagos State government did not like the idea. They overreached Ojukwu. Ojukwu now went to the Court of Appeal. And Ojukwu now went to the Court of Appeal to appeal. The Lagos State government, in the loss, the Lagos State government, rather than even now relaxing with the appeal, now went to the Supreme Court to appeal the decision of the Court of Appeal. They have already taken steps. Taking the laws, as
they have circumvented the law.
Taking the laws
into their hands.
Because the man was a military gun. Right. And of course, I like what Kayode Esho said. he said that if anybody should obey the law, it must be the executive, because it is the obedience of the executive of laws made by the executive that can bring peace and tranquility to the state. So if the state, the governor, is seen to be disobeying a court order, then where will he be? How can he say, and what will lie in his mouth to tell people who now break the law? Because he's leading by example in a negative way.
He's supposed to be the chief law enforcer. Because so it's the head of executive.
Okay, now.
So you don't have to be the chief.
Idea. I don't like this idea you brought. So he's not the chief law.
No, that is. And see, we are having what we are having in Rivers State is civilian dictatorship. You know, it's reminiscent of military. You know, there was military dictatorship. Yes. We understand during the military era, the soldiers disobeyed the laws with wantonness. So we understood that. We are under the jackboots of the military.
Yes.
So, but what we have been having in some places, the same thing Obaseki did. You know, Obaseki became stronger than the legislature.
Yes.
Became stronger than everybody.
Yes.
Your deputy governor wanted to contest, you just submerge everybody. That is not how to be a leader. That is not how to be a leader. The same thing this man is doing. He's reckless. See, one of the reasons Nigeria will not move forward is disrespect for institutions. We need to see how to strengthen our institution. Judiciary is very, very important. It's the third arm of this basic knowledge of.
Is it the last hope? We are talking
yes, the last hope of common man. When I was in secondary school, I learned this in government. Said okay, there are three arms of government. We have the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So the judiciary saves us from the excesses of the legislature and the executive. But if we don't obey the judiciary, if governors and who are supposed to implement the law, you know, are breaking the law, then where is the hope for the common man? What this man is doing, and I think, see, it's beyond what we see. He just wants to show that, look, I am large, you know, because he has a problem with his former mentor. So, but he's not thinking about the common man in the street. He's not thinking about the legacy he's leaving behind. He's not thinking. He's not looking at the big picture. He just wants to be in charge. He just wants to be the emperor over that state. But governorship is not kingship. It's not monarchy. He will not be there forever. History will be unkind to him. And I do believe, and I hope that what he's doing will not stand, because somebody will still go to court and
definitely
all of this will be invalidated.
Out of your mouth and never stand, because what he has done is what we call self-help. As I said, the court have ruled that the elections cannot take place, or INEC should not release the register of voters to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. And there is no way, because in the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission did not and has not compiled the voters register, at least up to date. And they don't even have it anyway. They do not have it. So if they do not have it, what are they using to conduct the election? Because there must be a voters register, 1. 2, there must be an update of that voters register, because some people became of age yesterday to be able to vote today. So disenfranchisement, and unfortunately, the people are promoting in democracy are just falling back to their face. Because if you say you want to support the rule of law, you want to promote democratic principles, and you are now disenfranchising some set of people, then what is the essence of all this effort? Nelson, what's the essence of all this effort?
Well, all the efforts amounts to nullity. And it's sad that Governor Fubara is frittering away the scarce resources of the people of Rivers State. Because what he is doing now, it's amount to taking a walk in the park, that you are going nowhere. Because you remember very well, sir, that in 2015, the APC in Rivers State conducted a primary, as well as in Akwa Ibom.
Yes.
And the court nullified that primary.
Yes.
They went ahead and contested the election.
Yes.
And the court now ruled that election you contested you had no reason to be there, so you just wasted your time.
Yeah.
So it's sad that Governor Fubara is latching on to the constitutional immunity he has.
Yeah, exactly.
That is why he's doing all these things, because he knows the same constitution is slapping left and right. Is the same constitution is safeguarding his stay in office. And for me, it's saddening because I see Governor Fubara and I expect him to recognize the fact that a time will come in when the history of Rivers State will be written. I'm very sure with his conduct so far, it will be written in black. A court of competent jurisdiction. This is a man that when he was sworn into office, he swore on oath
to uphold the
constitution, and see what he's doing. It's a sad day for democracy that Governor Fubara has told all of us that the constitution that made him to sit on that seat does not matter. And this wasteful exercise he has embarked on, I know vividly well it cannot stand according to law. It's and you can imagine. I saw the preparations yesterday, and I was asking that, why is this man behaving like this? There's a tomorrow, just like the Oba of Benin was telling the outgoing governor of Edo State.
Rsiec,
he said, look, there is life after office.
Abi?
Governor Fubara should realize that the interest of the people of Rivers State should be number one priority in everything is. But today, we have seen Governor Fubara try to show that his own ego is important than any other thing.
No, let us quickly leave Fubara alone and look at the stakeholders. APC said it wasn't interested. PDP said it wasn't interested. But politicians being who they are, all of a sudden I heard this morning that both of them have done a turnaround and they are involved in it to vote or to take part in the electoral process. Does that say something about people being how do I call it now, putting people and relying on what they have said? Or one would just put it that indeed they are politicians who, when they say good morning, if you will not take that as serious, as trustworthy, or that will now look at it, the totality is that both Fubara and the school class themselves, they are in a game, and that it is only them, that we who are outsiders are just mere onlookers. Then I'll now couch it again. Maybe it's a multi-barrel question, which you two answer. That at the end of the day, democracy will suffer.
Well, the truth of the matter is that whether they have done a volte-face or not is immaterial. We all know that we're a country governed by laws. And if you have violated the laws as pronounced by the courts, you are it's an exercise in futility. Whether the APC or the PDP participate does not legitimize
the illegality.
The illegality is an illegality.
I don't like this, your idea.
It's an illegality. So, I mean, because I tell people that, look, you might not like my face. You might not like.
No, I like your face.
You might not like. You might not like my opinion.
Yes.
But I always stand by the law
and the truth.
Yeah, the law is written in black and it's not written in French. The Nigerian Constitution is written in English. Yes. Anybody can go to a bookshop and purchase the Constitution, and you read it, and it's very clear that whatever you are doing as an individual, you are bound by the law, whether you are a government or as a citizen or as a governed. If you are on the right side of the law, nobody can touch you. Forget it. No matter how powerful it is, when you violate. I tell people when there is a traffic hold up and some people are going on one way driving against, I'll tell them that Namario, this road that government has earmarked for going this way, nobody can come and arrest me. Why are you following the law?
No way.
But immediately you go that way, even somebody who is not a state agent can even embarrass you.
Yes.
And you will not be able to say it, no matter your position.
Yes.
So for me, whether the political class in Rivers State have joined Fubara in his illegality, it's an exercise in futility according to law. So one is not bothered.
Yes. See, law is not emotional. Law deals with fact. You don't need to like the judge. You don't need to like his face.
Yes.
you don't need to be his friend. He doesn't want to be your friend. He shouldn't even be your friend. He cares less.
And that's why, for your information, this one of the signs and logo you see there's a
yes, that is blind.
Are blinded, and of course who has a.
When I say educated people on social media, pander to emotion, I just wonder, maybe because I had the privilege to be a judiciary correspondent, for years before I became an editor. So I was very familiar with the workings of the court and all of that. A judge also will not go and be seeking facts for you. Court is not an investigator. It's what you bring. Now, you see, the truth of the matter is, like he said, let all the parties participate. It does not matter. It does not mean anything. Because if that law, what stands now is that there's a ruling of the court saying, and it still stands, that ruling has not.
A judgment.
Okay, it's a judgment. Because ruling and judgment, yes.
People made the judgment.
Yes.
The judgment last Thursday.
Okay, it's a judgment of the court. Now that judgment has not been upturned. As to speak, that the judgment stands. Yes. So which means that election is illegal.
Yes.
So that's the judgment. We must not be emotional. It reminds me, as we were talking, I was reminded of what the magic Trump wanted to pull in the US. He was trying to manipulate his vice president not to ratify the election result. He did all he could, but the institutions too, because there was no basis. Yes. There was no court saying that the election had been invalidated. So he resorted to self-help. In this country, we must learn to respect the judiciary. Otherwise, this country will become chaotic. A society will be chaotic without the judiciary. So the truth of the matter is, this thing will not stand, and it shouldn't stand. That's the truth. It shouldn't stand. Now, another thing I want to say here is that, you see, when two elephants fight, say the grass does what? The grass suffers. Now, if Fubara is fighting Wike, it's their problem. It should not be at the expense of order in the society. It should not be at the expense of order in society. So what is happening now is just sham. It's not because I like or I don't like Fubara. It's not because I don't like Wike, or it's not about liking or hating anybody. It's about what I see in the law. It's not about what I think about it. It's not what I think.
It's the law.
I could say, if I wanted to be emotional, I would say, why all this problem? Why this? Let this election go. That I'm just talking with emotion. But the law says that, yes, it's a law. Don't hold this election. What anybody thinks about it is irrelevant. Yeah. It's immaterial. So this election is illegal, and it's a shame. It's very shameful that Fubara, who is enjoying, is a beneficiary of the Constitution, is the one brazenly breaking the law, and that's what he's doing. He's making the law.
And to add to what he's saying, one thing that grieves my heart is that even lawyers will come on national medium and be interpreting the judgment of the court. For me, that is an act of irresponsibility. Because once a court gives a judgment, whether you like it or not, you know the next thing.
You know what to do. Yeah.
Don't come and be disparaging the institution from which you are practicing your profession. Because if the courts were not there, you won't be able to, if we were in a state of anarchy, the Thomas of state of nature, you won't be able to analyze any judgment too. So I think the legal should be very, very careful how they run down the institution that made them, the institution that has enthroned law and order. It is not about whether we are supporting Wike or we are supporting Fubara. No, we are here to speak on what is the provisions of the law at play. The provisions of law at play here is that the elections must not hold. And for me, I don't know whether it is an election, because I heard that the people are coming out to vote. I don't know the parameter with which they are voting, but I know for a fact that once the court gives a judgment, and it is not up to that judgment becomes law.
Exactly.
And since we are a country governed by laws, it's sad that millions, if not billions, of naira that could have been used to better the life of the people of Rivers State will be wasted on this, fruitless exercise. And that is why we condemn it in its entirety, the disobedience to the judgment of the court by Governor Similaye Fubara. As much as we respect that he occupies that esteemed and dignified office, his conduct is unbecoming. It shows clearly that Governor Similaye Fubara is more interested in his own personal ego than the peace, progress, and prosperity of the people of Rivers State. And that is why.
I don't want to talk about lawyers.
Yes.
And Mr. Bade can say it better. But when you talk about lawyers saying things that they should not be saying, I think sometimes politicians, because they have money, they try to just propose a motion and their lawyers. Because I once saw a lawyer told me, said, even when we advise these politicians that this case will not fly in court, for example, they will still say, go on. I think politicians do this sometimes to keep their fan base.
Yes.
You understand? To keep their fan base. Because there are people on the street. Yeah. There are people on the street that want Fubara to do something. Don't be a weakling. Yeah. That's exactly what I believe that even Peter Obi was doing. That's the last election. It was clear that he had no path to victory, but he kept talking. So his people will have been disappointed, or they will have probably called him a failure or something, or they will have maybe he felt like would have disappointed them if he did not go ahead, contesting the result and going all the way, and even disagree with the Supreme Court. So sometimes it's what the police want that the lawyers follow.
I'm sorry. Maybe you quickly have there is a sound bite. There is a material that they're using. It was going something about while the River State governor went to independent electoral commission.
River State
independent. That's it. Maybe they can just give it some volume. Maybe they can give it some volume. Give it some volume so that our people partake in it. Welcome back. I don't know, maybe we're able to get a snippet of what is going on there. But maybe in subsequent bulletins you'll be given the right up to speed information concerning it. The elections are coming up in Ondo State. We just hope that somebody will learn from that. No doubt anyway. The governor in Ondo State has no power to do what Fubara is doing.
Yeah, no godfather that is fighting this.
No, apart from that, not conduct an election himself for himself.
Absolutely.
This one, Fubara is conducting the election for his local government to ensure that all those he wants installed get their.
That's just the whole idea.
He will be in charge of the. He will be in charge of the local government, and since money is going directly to the local government chairman now, then obviously if he puts them there, then he will be able to dictate. Yeah. That is the whole essence. There is no go come about that. We have a very few seconds to go. We'll just take a bite into the Ondo elections. I don't mind. Maybe again, because we didn't have a full-blown day, if it's possible, maybe we'll come back again to look at the Ondo elections fully before it plays out. So we'll just look at it.
It's for November 16th.
I have not been opportune to go to Honorary before the election. Maybe I will go there next week or upper week. I will go to Akure, Idonre, Igbotako, Kitibupa, Adefusile, or what's that place now? Trade if you want to go.
Okay.
Is it Adefusile? Akifosile. We'll go to all those areas. All those places. I want to go there to see before the election to test the waters.
Well, to inform our viewers is that I was in Edo State for the gubernatorial election, and immediately I stepped foot on the soil of Edo State. I told anybody who cared to me that this election is a two-horse race, because everywhere you went to, you saw posters and banners of the APC and the PDP. And lo and behold, when the election results came out, it revealed my prediction. I can tell you for free, as I see that, because on my way back from Edo, I made a detour into Ondo. You know, Edo and Ondo, they are like brothers and sisters. They are twins. They are twins. In the election in Ondo, take it or leave it, it's a one-horse race. There's nowhere you go.
It's possible for a horse to run against it.
If he doesn't have an opposition, it's a one-horse race. Because I went to Ondo and I can tell you for free. Maybe, you know, like we say, late Chief Emeka told us that 24 hours is a long time in politics.
Yes.
Anything can. But as we sit down here, if you go to anywhere in Ondo State today, it is the ruling parties, posters and billboards that are done everywhere. And you and I know for free that a lot of our people in those areas, it is what they see that registers in their minds. So if you don't bring your picture, when they are telling them this, it will be very difficult for them to reconcile that what are you talking about?
I hope you remember. I can't remember. Maybe it was in Kogi.
We were together in Kogi
in
now.
Kogi, not Ajaukuta. There is Ajaukuta before Ajaukuta.
I remember.
We walked to one place.
Yes, I remember.
Maybe it will come. Then we were in the polling unit. An old woman came and said, "I want to vote." She now told us, because the party is still on ground, she now told us the party that she wanted to vote for. That I would say, why? She said that's the party she has been seen around. You remember?
Yes. I can't agree more that it's actually a one-horse race. In fact, interestingly, I wrote an article which we are going to publish very soon on Ondo election.
Yeah, please
so,
let us share it so that
when it's published, I will let you know. Yeah. So it's about the parties, you know, and I look at the three parties. I mean, what about three parties? I didn't even reckon with Labour Party this time. I look at NNPP because this man, there's one APC stalwart that moved to that crossover. But still looking at it, there is no opposition in Ondo State. Opposition is completely emasculated. Forget about the fact that he's the deputy governor, former deputy governor. That is, if you look at the whole scenario, you know that there is a lot of people have even defected from PDP to APC. Yeah. If you look at it, apart from that, you also, please, this is the way I see it. Now, I described Mayeda Tiwa as the stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. You know all the intrigues, all the he went through. But now he is the darling, he is the bride of that state. And apart from that, in his 10 months, he has done some remarkable things in education, in water, providing water in rural areas, giving bursary awards, and so many other things he has done. People are saying, even agriculture, the fertilizers he has given to farmers, all of this could count for him also. Apart from this emotional attachment to the party, yeah. I think it's a one-horse race, and I think that people should just learn to be good losers, because sometimes the way politicians think, they act as I think they are incurable optimists. I don't know, but
I think they are. I think they are.
Sometimes it will be so clear to everybody, even to the most casual observer, that no, this person won gallantly. I think will still be rhetoric, they still be saying all sorts of things. I just want to beg INEC not to leave loopholes that people can capitalize on. Let the IRF work well the way it did. Let them improve on the logistics. But I am telling you that even if INEC tries its best, there's something I will still say because of this, they will create a storm where it does not exist.
Yeah.
So I think to add to what
in rounding our time is not on our side. I just want so that people they will not think we are just here to make noise or just to talk from our own brain concerning what happened or what is happening in Rivers. Justice Peter Lifo barred Rsiec from accepting any voters register from INEC or using it for the purpose of the October 5 local government election. Bar, which means that they are
outlawed.
They are not. It is not the law. So, which voters register?
And the Constitution says before you can conduct an election, there must be a voters register.
And of course, there will be various notices. All the steps that have to be taken.
We don't even know what they are doing.
Just leave it at that.
We don't know what they are using.
It's not on our side. We just want to thank our guest, Mr. Dada.
Thank you, sir.
And Comrade Kujumi.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you for coming to this program today, really making it lively and, of course, no dull moment.
Absolutely.
We want to thank you. And to our people at home, we hope you enjoyed today's package. I'm Wale Ogunade, your host on this program and its voters forum. Till next week when we meet again, just keep being on the side of the law. Don't take laws into your hands, thinking that somebody has done it. Don't be like we normally call it in legal on the streets. It is the stupid that will suffer for the wrongs of the wise. Don't be caught on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Well, all the best.